Alrighty, this is a video to the LA County District Attorney's Office concerning the rape allegations to Miss Miss Madison Orange. Presently, what I've sensed and also picked up online is Miss Jana Lewis has now perjured herself and also libeled and defamed my name and character. Notice that videos you've been looking at, most of the videos are done, they've been put online someplace else. All of my computers have been hacked and I've been counter hacking the situation. First, she's going to say that where I've said about me being Jamaican and all this, I do come from the 1% of Jamaica. So if she said if she has lied about that, that's now a perjury. Second, I was stationed at as it's on my DD 214 Common Nav Spec Ward Dev Group. That's another perjury. So what she has gotten you to do as the DA is to say that as an ad hominem attack. Two, she's getting help, as I said, from Miss Kathleen Kennedy and also possibly the Kardashians. Yes, and then the third one was about, it's going to sound crazy about me speaking about Prince Harry. Once again, I am a mechanic. That is a form of being a Mason, but it's to only the British. So what I say does actually reach. So once again, these all the things that she's saying. It's going to sound absolutely crazy to you, but you need to do your more research. The other thing is Dr. Romani Varasala. I cannot say her name. Both Ty Briscoe and Jana Lewis. Ty Briscoe scared the living jeebies out of her and threatened her and her staff's life. You need to investigate that. She lives in LA County. Because of her videos on NPD cluster B personalities, which Ms. Lewis tends to display certain personality traits. I'm not going to say that she is a cluster B, but she definitely externalizes her personality, and it takes a certain amount, a type of ability to be able to understand the language patterns. This is Dr. Romney. And she lives in LA, and you have, she has, Ty Briscoe has threatened her life at a time. So the other thing is, the main reason I was putting this in is to make sure that there's liability on the DA County and LA Police and Santa Monica Police Departments if anything happens to both me and Dr. Romney, Brandon, and there's another person named Kimja Previn. This is somebody you need to speak with. She used to live in the apartment next to Holly Adams. So if you're coming from 18th Court, you immediately see Holly Adams' door, and the one right beside it is Kimja. She lived next to her, but they had a falling out, and before that display, she displayed a great deal of what's called CPTSD cluster. She had gone through a lot of CPTSD, which is a effects of going through a psychological abuse state. That's one person. The next person is Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper. Jana Lewis used him to regulate her emotion set. She would sleep with him. So that's another person. Another person is Big Will. He is owner of Green Life Events. He's been to jail, and he is not going to say anything. DJ LA. See if I can find him. Hopper. Derek, I think it is. She was with her boyfriend for. That's not who it is. You have to understand how to look at Jan Lewis is through a network. She is a networked person. She does not exist. She's an externalization. So Derek Hopper, I believe his name is. He is also one of the persons with Green Life Events. So you have Big Will of Green Life Events, who knows what was going on, but because he has to he's been to jail once before, so he has to kind of protect himself. He is not going to say anything, but he also knows that of the way that Holly Adams and because they always work together. So you have Holly Adams. Kim Jiv Previn was abused by both Jenna Lewis and Holly Adams. Then you have Derek Hopper. Jenna Lewis would have sex with him with her last boyfriend of 13 years as a way to regulate herself. Ty Briscoe is probably, if you are not keeping your eyeball on him, you are now in liability. Brandon Elajanejo is being held against his will in Mexico out of fear of Ty Briscoe and the cartels. And there are certain things that have happened that were of national security that I cannot explain to you because you're not cleared. She's going to say that everything I was saying about everything I've said sounds crazy and it doesn't make any sense. You need to look online to find where all of this has been dumped. I am not going to do it for you. You need to do your own work. See here, what else is it? So who was it? Brandon Hopper, because that's where she got her Thumper name from. Oh yes, Holly Noel. They are all afraid of this individual because they think you're Ty Briscoe's physically accosting them. Anything happens to them, me or anybody else, it will come back onto you. This is bigger. This is not some. I don't do bullshit. Station the damn neck, and she has to because it sounds so fanciful of what I am saying, and I noticed because you would think that that's what she is playing on. Two, when you bring if you ever sit down with her, you cannot have one person communicate with her. She's three different persons. She splits into an id, ego, and superego, with the ego being a child, the id being kind of about a 15-year-old, and the superego is the person you're usually speaking with, as I call her. Miss Lewis, Jana the kid, and Jan the id. If you have her sit down, you need three cameras, one camera directly in front, one camera behind, two cameras 30 degrees on either side, left and right, and then 2 to 3 different persons speaking at her at once. So that way she cannot do that. Her and Mr. Briscoe and Holly Adams, they do what's called they gaslight. You need to speak with Dr. Romney to understand what you're up against because you've just been played. I guarantee you, if I've passed away, I've sent the data, I've sent information, and you have blown it off. Anything happens to anybody, Brandon, myself, Dr. Romney, it will come down onto you as because you did not do your jobs. Or I should say, if you did do your jobs, you were you did not understand what was going on and how you were manipulated. The LA County DA's office. Once again, I noticed that you went on my page, my YouTube page, watched the videos, thinking that it's that nobody, that everything is doesn't make any sense. You are not. You will now be held liable, and so I'm just letting you know this is not a game. He's a very dangerous person, and he needs to be removed from the streets. I'd like to thank you, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas. I was waiting for this addendum to place up. I was waiting for her to make her move. Now that she has perjured herself and defamed me, it's because the main thing that she's going to do, before I say that, is she's going to say that the ones you're not going to believe is I am from the 1% of Jamaica. I am a mechanic. I am also a student of the Rosicrucians. The mechanic is for the most part is a mason. So the Rosicrucians, but the mechanic and masons are more closely linked. The mechanics are chartered by the Parliament of by the British Parliament. Therefore, everything I said is true. Even though it's not going to be said or backed up at this present time, everything I've said is true. I mean, by the Queen herself. Miss Lewis knows this. Holly Adams knows this. Big Will knows this. Holly Noel knows this. Her husband Thomas Boyle knows this. All of these people know this. Who's another person? Bridget, Facebook page. Bridget. What's her name? She won't say anything because all these people are terrified. Oh, yeah, let's see here. Bridget Love, Beth Schlesinger. My geometry actually was part of one of the gaslighting. Louis Montoya also knows. And then Curtis Atkinson is Holly Adams' brother, so he also knows as well. This is what I was expecting, and if you saw the videos, I said I was going to put an addendum on. I was waiting for the addendum. This was what I was waiting for. I was waiting for her to make her maneuver because she knows where these videos are being put up. And so she would know how to lie to counter everything I'm doing. So it's always one step ahead, so to speak. So whomever watches this, once again, you are now liable if anything happens to Brandon. And we're going to show you Brandon, to myself, Dr. Romney, by either the cartels, and also Ty Briscoe is a blood. No, yeah, blood is blue. He's the blood as well. And let's look at, let's see here, photos. Give me a second so I can find some of the photos. Now, even though I'm in Grand Junction, this is which was left purposely for me to find because it was about going after him, and then it's this, but then on the ground here it'll say bigger fish, talking about European Americans, bigger fish. That was left directly for me. By that's one. Now let's see here. Now it's you're going to say, well, that's a discrete moment. It's you have to everything that she does is continue is a has to be done on a continuous moment, not as a discrete. Let's see here. Let me see. I'm looking for the where they had to place something on the back. Here it is. This is symbols that were left behind on as a target to target me, but then because of a certain situation they had to realize it was a trap, and so that was like, don't do it. These all were sent to somebody who picked them up and held on to them. In within your department, you keep letting these people into a political position, you're going to destroy, you're going to screw up California. And I will continue pushing this up further and further. And I do have the political will and the political connections to do so. It's not against you. I think you're doing your job. It's just I know how good of a bullshitter Miss Lewis is. And I cannot say it because as far my hypothesis is that she is a cluster B, both Ty Briscoe and her are cluster B. My hypothesis, I'm not sure, but I can tell you by language, I can definitely say that he gaslight using an isomorphic emotion, emotive isomorphic position, and that is because I study logic, heavy duty logic, and I've been doing this for years. And because of the work I used to do, I know what I'm talking about. So you're gonna receive this addendum, and everything I've said, I know is true, and everything that she's told you, I know is true, because I have ways of understanding things. I look forward to either a phone call from you or an email. Thank you.